Bang!
Welcome to the Frickcast and to the Fantasy Football 2023 Player Guides. Today, we kick things off with Christian McDaddy. CMC is a longtime god, a fantasy superstar that appears to still be in his prime, entering what will be his age 27 season, as well as his second season as a member of the San Francisco 49ers. There's a lot of reasons to, once again, be excited about Christian McCaffrey. Just a quick gander at last year's stats will show you that. McDaddy finished as the RB2 in both standard and full PPR this past season. Not only was his usual high ceiling once again on display, but so was his usual high floor. CMC busted only twice this season. That is, scoring under 10 points. And really, I would consider it just once, because the Week 7 game was, of course, his first as a 49er. And we all knew he wouldn't be seeing a large percentage of snaps. McCaffrey once again got it done in all facets of the game. He rushed for over 1,100 yards, caught 85 passes, scored 13 touchdowns, and even added a passing touchdown for good measure. He's a jack of all trades, but also a master of all. He averaged 16 points per game in standard, but if you had him in full point PPR, you were eaten, with a PPG of 21. Outside of his two injury-riddled seasons, McCaffrey has literally always been great for fantasy. In terms of per-game averages, he's always been obnoxious. His on-the-field performance has never suffered, even during those injury seasons. McCaffrey was a high NFL pick, drafted as an elite athlete, and his skills quickly translated to the NFL. While not the biggest back in the league, he's proven himself capable of handling a large workload and a 3-down role, which is exactly what we want for fantasy. He's an elite runner, touchdown scorer, and of course, pass catcher. Simply put, CMC does it all, and he's nifty while doing it. Switching teams in the middle of last season did not slow him down. In fact, going from a struggling Panthers team to an elite 49ers offense in the midst of last season really seems to only help his long-term outlook, as his efficiency can be showcased while not handling a heavy workload that will cause him to wear down early. Nobody quite does the run game like Kyle Shanahan, and he's got the perfect running back for his scheme, one he traded a good bit to nab. The 49ers do of course like to use multiple backs, and there were times last year that other running backs vultured valuable points from CMC that frustrated owners, but McCaffrey was still able to get his at the same time. This is an elite run-first offense, and there's a lot of points available. Elijah Mitchell seems to be the man up after McDaddy, and injuries have really hindered his short career. Jordan Mason and Tyrion Davis-Price round out the depth chart. Again, none of these guys are true threats to CMC. He's clearly the alpha dog here. The quarterback situation is a bit murky, with either Trey Lance or last season's wonder, Brock, you got a purty mouth, boy. Purdy, looking to be the man under center. McDaddy was great with Purdy mouth last season, and he lacks the rushing ability to vulture much from CMC, rushing for only 13 yards and 1 touchdown. Last year's Mr. Irrelevant seems to be the starter this year, and that's probably the best for CMC's outlook, as he's competent enough to move the offense, but will rely heavily on the run game and dumping off passes to the running back. Although QB isn't really a concern for McCaffrey, as he's dealt with all kinds of quarterbacks during his career, good and bad, and it hasn't slowed him down. As for the concerns, there's not many. There is, of course, the chance of Shanahan shenanigans, where McCaffrey simply doesn't get the elite workload we want as managers. And we did see glimpses of this last year. I'll be honest, I firmly believe Kyle Shanahan likes to win without his star players, so that he gets all the credit. But it's going to be hard for him to pull that with McCaffrey, just because of the nature of the offense and the talent of the man himself. There probably will be games where CMC gets less than 15 touches, but he's efficient enough where it may not matter all that much. CMC is simply just too good. The other concern, however, is one that a lot of running backs have, and that's injury concerns. 27 isn't exactly young for a running back, and 2 out of the past 3 years, McCaffrey has missed significant time with injury. However, I don't think it was ever fair to label CMC as injury-prone, and the fantasy community tends to overreact when a player has a string of injuries. Before the 2020 and 2021 seasons, McDaddy was an Iron Man. He missed very little time and was just a reliable workhorse. Outside of those 2 seasons, he has not missed an NFL game in any other year, including playing in all 17 games this past one. He also only missed one game during his college days at Stanford. Those 2 seasons really are the outliers here. Now things change for players. Their bodies wear down. Age takes its toll. However, last year showed us CMC is still CMC, clearly capable of being the RB1 on the season. In fact, there may be a silver lining to those lost, injured years, as none of the injuries were catastrophic ones that hurt his long-term outlook. He was plagued by a plethora of hamstring, ankle, and shoulder woes, but he didn't tear his ACL or Achilles. They were more so lingering, nagging injuries. However, they were still significant at the time, enough to keep him off the field, but also keep him from sustaining a season and a half's worth of wear and tear on his body. Missing the better part of 2 seasons likely kept him fresh, and once the injuries were healed, we saw that last year as he was back to slamming. McDaddy will be going at the top of drafts, within the top 2 to 3 running backs and top 5 overall, depending on the format and platform. In terms of running backs, Austin Eckler is the most comparable, but I personally have McCaffrey as my top RB going into the season, maybe even the top player overall. He's an exciting player, a historically dominant one, and it's a lot of fun to have him on your team. McCaffrey is one of my all-time favorite players, and he's been my boy for a long time. Ever since the beginning, he's carried me in my main league for many seasons, and I'll be riding with him again this year, as I've seen no signs of slowing down. So that will do it for our first player guide for the 2023 fantasy football season. Let me know what you think of Christian McCaffrey's outlook this coming year. Is he your top running back in the draft? Your top player? Let me know if there's anything I missed, and let me know which player you'd like to see next. As always, Frick Nation, stay nifty.
Oh my